Hi there. Happy Tuesday. Today's topic is empathy. And the reason I'd like to talk about empathy is there's a little bit of a misconception about it. In that, have you ever thought or said or heard anyone say anything like, man, I'd love to empathize with them, but I just don't understand what they're thinking. I just don't understand it. I can't get it. And so I can't empathize. And so that's what I want to talk about today, the distinction between understanding and empathy, because they are, in fact, two different things. I actually have a quote for you this week. The quote is, there is zero correlation between IQ and emotional empathy. They are controlled by different parts of the brain. And that is from Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman. And that's exactly what we're talking about. You do not need understanding for empathy. Empathy is simply feeling the emotions of another person, feeling the emotions of another person as they're in it. And so what that means is it doesn't matter why or how they got there. You can still feel those emotions because we as human beings feel all of the emotions. The circumstances for which we feel them are different, but the emotions are the same. And so that's what empathy is. Empathy is feeling the emotion of the other person, even when you don't understand how they got to this emotion, even when you don't agree with their thoughts about how they got there or how they'll get out or whatever else. The thoughts and the causes are irrelevant to empathy. So hear that again. Empathy is simply taking on and feeling the emotions of another person if you agree with them or not. And here's the magic of empathy, because then when we do take on their emotions in that moment about that situation, then we will be more able to be able to understand the why. So saying that you need to figure out the why before entering into empathy is backwards. True empathy is just about the emotion. And then when you are empathetic and in that emotion with them, then you might be able to understand how they got there from their own mindset while swimming in that same pool with them. And then, just like a little side note, along with empathy comes validation. And so, maybe a distinction there as well, because that's the same thing with validation. Man, I would love to empathize or to validate them, but I just don't get it. And it's the same thing. Validation is the verbal expression of empathy, not of understanding, of empathy. Validation is the verbal expression of empathy, not, and you do not need understanding. Man, I could see how frustrated you are. I hate to feel frustrated. Man, I get it. I can feel that, and that sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that. Even if you don't agree with the situation or the way they're handling it or anything else, understanding is very, very different. And so just kind of note that for yourself. What is your connection between understanding and empathy and validation? And what might you do with this information? How is this hitting you? And what might you do now with this information of there's a difference between empathy and understanding, and they're on their own roads. They don't have to cross. Let me know what you think. Let me know your questions, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.